Welcome back to News in Focus. Now, this week has been one of the stories heavily dominated by what happened with the Loftus 5. Of course, they were arrested on Sunday during a CHAN qualifier between Bafana and Malawi. They were arrested on charges of malicious intent, damage to property at the Loftus Stadium. Now, what had happened on Wednesday during the bail hearing was that one of the minors, a 16-year-old, was given bail, but the case continues. Actually, the other four were also given bail, but their case will resume on June the 18th. Joining me now, I'd like to welcome no stranger to Hilaal TV, Alie Komape from Africa for Palestine, just to discuss this, the case going forward, and of course how the week has unfolded. But before that, Alie, assalamu alaikum. As always, pleasure having you. Alie, you've got some news to share with regards to what is happening with charges against the police. Please do explain.
Walaikum salam, and thank you for having me. Africa for Palestine can confirm that the 5 that were illegally and unlawfully detained by the South African Police Service officers have laid criminal charges against the police who took that barbaric and brutal action against them this past Sunday at Loftus Versveld in Pretoria. This is a series, it's one in a series of actions that they are taking to hold the authorities accountable for what has happened to them, the traumatic experience that they went through. I mean, the 16-year-old minor who slept in prison for 2 nights and the 3 days. So this is traumatic for them. This is an experience that they never even expected or can fathom, to be in prison with common criminals for doing absolutely nothing wrong. So they've laid charges against the police, and them and their legal team have advised that this is just the beginning of holding the authorities accountable.
Okay. Obviously, we spoke on Tuesday, so a lot has happened in the last 72 hours, Alie. Let's go to, obviously, that court case that had occurred on Wednesday. The charges that are being brought by the police, many are feeling that it's frivolous. I mean, you said that it's frivolous charges, that it's a case that should not be happening. Some may say even state money should not be used for this. But when you look at it, why is there a sense of a continuation for this case to happen?
Look, my brother, I hate whataboutism. It deflects from the real issues. But I can't help, I can't shake off the feeling that the state can be using this resource to a better cause. Yes. I mean, in this country, we've got huge problems of gender-based violence. The NPA just kicked the bucket full of water on the on the Omotoso case. Sorry, they are not getting anywhere further on the case and so on. So the state complains. The NPA in particular complains that they are stretched for resources. So they're going to pull most of their resources to this particular frivolous case. It's quite infuriating. As a citizen of this country, as someone who's an activist in this country, I see that the state is prioritizing resources on things that don't matter. To begin with, we believe that the state is just throwing everything to the wall to see what sticks. One of the charges that they are charged with is some violation of Sports and Recreation Act, something along those lines.
No, it's the first time I heard.
I think it's the first time even our legal team says we've seen someone being charged with something like this. So they're throwing everything to the wall to see what sticks. For what reason, we don't know. And we've said this numerous times that in Zulu, but they say it means there's a rat that smells. Something fishy is going on, you know? And then there's some underhandedness here. And those who know us better, we're like a pit bull. Once we bite, it's very difficult for us to let go. We've bitten on this issue. And we're going to find out who is behind this. Why are innocent South Africans who went to for crying out loud, who went to a soccer match, bought tickets, were allowed to sit in the stadium, watch the game, celebrate Bafana winning against Malawi, and then ended up in prison for 3 days and 2 nights. It makes no sense. So we're going to get to the bottom of it, and whoever is behind this, I can promise you right now, my brother, we're going to expose them.
Here's the thing, Ali. I want to touch on the possibility of, let's just look at the ministry as a whole, police. Some may argue that if it was maybe other political parties who don't really have a stance on Palestine, its solidarity, you'd want to put the puzzle. Of course, this is not conspiracy theories. We're just trying to work out the ones and twos. But this police ministry right over here is a complete ANC one, if I stand to be corrected. The minister and the deputy minister are ANC deployees. And of course, the ANC stance of Palestine has been that on its full solidarity with Palestine. So is there a head scratcher with regards to that?
Look, it's not a conspiracy. We don't believe in conspiracies.
No, of course, yeah.
This happened.
Yeah.
So people were assaulted, people were pepper sprayed, people slept in jail. This is not a conspiracy. But we know about...
I'm just saying it from a higher level, given
delegation,
that...
with delegation of authority.
Yeah.
And we don't mince our words. There are political parties in the country that are pro-Israel. There are political parties in this country that are pro-genocide. It is the Patriotic Alliance, among others. It's the Democratic Alliance, among others. We're going to call them by name. We know them. So we respect delegation of authority in this particular instance. That the minister would have no idea what's happening in the local police station at Sunnyside in Pretoria. For him to know, he would have asked and found out.
Right.
But what we can detect, for us, just to give you a context,
Sure.
we entered the stadium in the first half, having bought tickets, having been searched for whatever the case is, for weapons or whatever. We entered the stadium, we were shown where to sit. In fact, when I was entering the stadium, we were so cordial with the authorities, the policemen there in particular. They even asked for a T-shirt, the one I'm wearing. Some of them were saying, look, you all look alike with your T-shirts. If you can, give us some. That's how nice it was.
Oh, so they actually asked for it.
Yeah. That's
so
how
this
nice
is the
it
same
was.
police?
Same police.
Same police.
Same police.
Okay, right.
That's how nice it was.
Okay.
We get into the stadium, we sit with our T-shirts, with our banners and everything. Right? The first half goes on. Bafana scores one. The mood in the stadium, jovial. We're dancing. Even those who were not in our section in the stadium came to join us because we were dancing, we were happy. I mean, if you can check on social media, the footage there was music. This is a stadium. There was music, South Africa, jovial. We had our Palestinian flags, our shirts. The first half passes. Before the second half starts, or shortly just after it started, this is when this happens. One police guy, an unidentified policeman, Lieutenant Colonel Stiengam, we just found. Stiengam is his name. We're going to name and shame them. Okay. He comes.
So you've got the names of
the
police
we know
officers.
them very well. This fellow comes and says, no, we don't appreciate the messaging you are displaying in the stadium. We're going to confiscate your banners. We had banners saying Red Cut Israel and so on. We said to the fellow, no problem, you're going to have you can take the banners, but look, give us the banners. This is the banners we printed with our money.
Yes.
He said, no, I'm confiscating them. We will find them in the stadium management offices on Monday. This was on Sunday. We said, of course, no problem. He leaves momentarily, comes back. When he comes back with the contingent of police. A lot of police officers wearing riot gear.
Do you know the number?
I can't tell you the number, but there were many. There were way over 20.
Right, okay.
Riot gear and everything, pepper spray, shields, guns, and and he says, you have to leave. The police are saying you have to leave. He said, no, we're going to leave. We're going to disperse. No, but tell us, why are we leaving? Why should we leave? What's the issue? He says, no, you must leave. You're not allowed to do this. No. We're not in a protest. This is not a picket. We're not shouting.
And you bought tickets.
We bought tickets. We're not disruptive. We're not infringing of anyone's right. We're not insulting anyone. We're not hooligans.
So you guys had a section of the stadium to yourself?
Exactly. We're a group of people around 100 or something.
So there weren't any other supporters around?
No, they came. You see, when we came and South Africa scored, it was happy, it was nice. People came to join us.
Yes,
so it became a larger group in one section of the stadium. And then they said, take off your T-shirts. And that's when people had an issue. They said, why do you want my T-shirt? Ordinarily, other people didn't have anything under their T-shirts. I can't be half naked in the stadium.
It's a warm day in Pretoria.
I mean, it's indecent anyway. It's indecent for me to be working in the stadium in a crowd of people without my shirt on. What's up with that? When people asked why would you want, they pepper sprayed them. And I think the fracas started when they pepper sprayed an elderly man. In one of the videos, you can see him wailing and he couldn't see and he's weeping. And he's an elderly man. I mean, minors as young as 4 were coughing, they couldn't see. And it's only a natural instinct of a parent to kind of protect their kids. So when parents are saying, please, what are you doing? When children of their parents, the elderly say, but you can't pepper spray an old man like that. They were assaulted. They were pepper sprayed. And the allegation is that they were resisting arrest. The allegation is that they were assaulting police officers. Absolute hogwash, absolute nonsense. So we can deduce, right? And this is not a conspiracy story, like I said. We can deduce that throughout the first half, the police did not have a problem. The stadium management did not have a problem. The other fans of Malawi did not have a problem.
Yeah.
The fans of South Africa who were on our side did not have a problem. Nobody had a problem. We can deduce that somebody who was watching the television, or somebody who was on social media, somebody who saw this, probably someone higher in position of authority, took the phone and said, you see those ones there? I don't want them there. Kick them out. If needs be, beat, pepper spray, and chunk out of the stadium. I don't want them there. That's what we can deduce. That's what makes sense in this particular case. Nothing else makes sense. Why allow us in the stadium?
Ali, we have to stop you there. We have to go after that because there's a lot more that I want to ask you with regards to that. Do stay tuned. I'm in conversation with Alie Komape from Africa for Palestine. Welcome back to News in Focus. I'm still in conversation with Alie Komape from Africa for Palestine. Ali, I'm listening to what you were saying, obviously, as we entered the break. And I can't help but notice that this had all the makings of going back in time to apartheid. The fact that it's a peaceful protest and this occurred. Did that feel that way when you were there at the stadium?
Look, it feels worse than that. Look, I'm a soccer fan. I follow soccer.
Course, yeah.
And all of us there are South Africans who followed soccer, except I would like to believe the minors who are 4 and 5 years old.
Course, yeah.
And we went to watch soccer. So if you look all over the world, in Scotland, the Celtic Glasgow, their fan base there, big on Palestine. Big on Palestine. The PSG does in the final. The PSG Ultras, big on Palestine.
Yeah.
Recently, we had North African teams here for the CAF Champions
Al-Ahli
League.
and Pyramids.
Al-Ahli, Pyramids, Esperance, Tunisia. Big on
Filippo Inzaghi waved the flag also.
Yeah, big on Palestine. So this is not an South Africa thing. This is not isolated. It happens worldwide. Fans go to the stadium to support their teams, but carry a particular message. There's nothing wrong with it. It's not illegal.
People did that during the time of South Africa when it was isolation.
Exactly. So it's not illegal. So going there, it felt exactly worse than it felt as if the world is going that direction. We are going the other direction. We are, and again, my friend, it was not a protest. We just organized ourselves to go watch a game, like other people do. For instance, if I'm a businessman, for example, if I'm a businessman and I want to buy my local school tickets to go watch the soccer, I do that. They go to a section, they see that they watch the soccer, they're happy. It happens all the time. I myself, I'm a branch member of Kaizer Chiefs. When you go to stadium, they feel a taxi, they go to the stadium. What's wrong with that?
Yes, sure.
It's not legal, it's not unlawful. So we went as a group, wearing similar T-shirts, having Palestinian flags, carrying some messaging to say, look, FIFA must be banned from Israel. We felt that this is a great platform. This is the correct platform to raise our messaging, not only to the players on the field, but to everyone who's at the stadium and so on. So there was nothing illegal about doing. It really felt like that. It felt as if we were being targeted. It felt as if simply because people don't agree with what we're saying, therefore, we must be chunked out of the stadium, we must be assaulted, and we must be arrested.
Ali, I want to touch on the NPA because, I mean, I've heard numerous interviews from Advocate Shamila Batoy saying the NPA needs funding. In the first segment, you mentioned that they're now willing to obviously use their resources for this case. But there's another case that, of course, Africa for Palestine has been speaking quite a lot about, and many within the legal fraternity. Aaron Behack, the Israeli soldier, of course, fought for the IOF from South Africa, who's was involved in the first phases of the genocide in Gaza. Is there frustration that nothing's being done there, but resources are being used for this case right over here? Definitely.
And even before this particular case, we were frustrated since 2014. Since 2014, we were exposing South Africans who went into Palestine to commit war crimes and come back. Since 2014, we've been doing this. So there is huge frustration among our ranks. Even Palestinians themselves are frustrated that South Africans come here, commit war crimes, and then go back to our country. Interesting enough, in Hebron in Palestine, there's a huge settlement of Afrikaners. These Afrikaners who
besides the ones that now went to the
USA. Yeah. They're very popular for that.
Yeah.
There are those who, when apartheid ended in South Africa, they said, no, we had this apartheid elsewhere, and because we love it so much, let's go there. So amongst those, there are those in Hebron who then joined the IOF, but they have South African citizenship. They double dab. They double dip, sorry. They come here and they come there. And we said to the state, the South African government at the time, come on, guys. These are low-hanging fruits.
Yes.
And we've got clear-cut laws against it. And look, we are further saying the South Africa, which is commendable, took Israel to the International Court of Justice. I mean, we are suffering that decision now. We believe the sanctions from Trump, the targeting of Trump on South Africa is purely because they want us to withdraw the case at the International Court of Justice of genocide. It's not a conspiracy theory, it's not an allegation, it's true. They've sent a delegation before Tenali Pando to say when she was minister, please withdraw this particular case. We can do that, which is commendable. But here at home, we can arrest South African citizens who go and commit these war crimes. I mean, come on. We need to do better. So when the NPA is being seized with such a responsibility, you go after 4-year-olds at the stadium. Elderly men in their 80s at the stadium. I mean, it's ridiculous. And it's such a contradiction that on the day that this happened, it was World Kefir Day.
Yes, on Sunday,
Yes, the government, the president of this country was saying we're wearing kafirs to symbolize solidarity with Palestine. On social media, it was everywhere, Ramaphosa wearing a kafir and all. And organs of the state that is president of go and beat up Palestine supporters who are peaceful in a stadium. I mean, I could understand also if we were at the protest, we were at the process, maybe we were on the wrong side of the road, maybe we didn't apply correctly for the protest in time, maybe.
Yeah, the fact that it's a stadium.
We were in a stadium sitting down, that we were allowed into. You see, if they had told us at the gate that you...
But that's what I ask you, so why not at the gate? Why didn't they say you can't go in? Because then it would be understandable, but why wait up until close to half-time?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Our deduction is that there was someone higher up, someone with the authority to instruct, called them and said, I don't like what they're doing. Part of the people that we were with at the stadium, they are from a union called Pop Crew, police and...
Yes.
Some of them were policemen, and they recognized one of their captains there. And they said, this guy is a captain. There's a white guy there who was a captain who's instructed them, push, and whatnot. They are saying, ordinarily, a captain of the police doesn't come to such things. Ordinarily.
So it's the captain of the Sunnyside police
station. Yes. No, it doesn't ordinarily come to these type of things.
Yeah.
You know?
So you honestly feel that when listening to all of that, there's a deeper, because it's rare to see a captain of a police station actually coming
with riot police. So we believe there's, like I said, we're going to get to the bottom of this. That I can best believe that we're going to do. That there's someone somewhere who gave out instruction, who has the necessary authority to take out this particular instruction to the personnel, the security personnel of the stadium, and to the police of the Sunnyside police station.
Okay, Ali, we know that the five cannot speak to media. Obviously, it's been advised by the legal team, and of course, from a law perspective in the country, that needs to be respected. From now up until then, obviously, it's a 4-week wait. What now for the five? What is the way forward now up until, of course, the next adjournment, well, the adjournment of the case, which is for the 18th? What is the way forward now?
Look, like I said, the five and their legal team have advised us that this is only one incident in a series of events that are going to follow. We are told that they will also look into SAFA, they will also look into the South African Football Association because it was a SAFA event.
Sort of CAF event? Well, SAFA CAF.
SAFA CAF, yes. They're going to look into that and say, were you complicit? Were you enablers? Were you involved in this particular event? But for instance, these are people who are traumatized. I can tell you about one who's a family man. Who's a community leader, community activist, does not even know what he didn't even know what jail looks like. He has never even seen it in his own eyes before. Who was in jail but he's traumatized. He's furious. He wants justice. He demands justice. He can't believe this is happening in free South Africa. So this passion for Palestine that they have, this passion that they have for other people elsewhere in the world and not in their immediate surroundings, that's the same passion they are going to drive towards the police to get accountability. So they've advised us that many more things are going to happen, many more actions are going to be taken against the police. It's an ordinary case of catching a drug dealer on the street with 5 grams of cocaine. We know we want the supplier.
Yeah.
We are looking for, the police were just a creature of instructions. They were told what to do. We are looking for who told you to do this. And they will get to the bottom of it, as we are committed to.
Ali, always a pleasure having you on. Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum.
Shukran for having us.
That's Alie Komape from Africa for Palestine. And of course, we will be keeping an eye on what is going to be happening to that case as we develop to June the 18th. That's all we have for you on News in Focus from myself, for Hospital, and the rest of the team in Johannesburg. Do have yourself a good weekend, but most importantly, a safe one. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.